Good morning, everyone. This is just FK. We're gonna kind of have a small conversation and let some listeners get on before we really dive into the podcast because there's a lot of fucked up shit that is going around. It's pretty bad, especially here locally.
My heart hurts.
Yeah,
That's the only way I can put it into
I've
words.
been for 4 days now. I've literally been not doing nothing but
Watching videos,
watching
one right after the motherfucking other.
not only videos but live streams of all of the protests and collecting information on all of the police brutality cases to make that video myself.
Okay, let me. I don't mean to cut you off, but let me just. I've seen videos of cops do the right thing and know that shit's fucked up and walk with protesters. And there's some places that are doing that, but you go to New York, Chicago, Denver. It is one video after the motherfucking other of cops escalating the situation. Zero de-escalation, but straight militarization, and they're fucking shit up. Did you guys know? And I know nobody's managed to get on just yet, but that's fine. We'll post this video later. But did you guys know that any attack on a medic is a war crime? I did. So when I saw videos of them attacking medics and dismantling, tents where volunteer doctors and nurses had set up and destroying bottles of water, there's no point to that other than they dislike any kind of heartfelt action. They don't give a fuck. I've heard so many people say the cops don't give a fuck and corporations don't give a fuck. Let me just tell you, okay, that is so on point. The cops, most of the time, legitimate, don't give a fuck. Now, I'm not saying all cops are bad, but what I am saying right now is that the majority of shit that I've seen have been war crimes and hate crimes. And some murders. I've seen some fucking murders on some of the protests and shit that I've seen.
Yeah.
Like, straight up just shooting people in the fucking face. I've seen people try to carry the injured and wounded out of the protest area to get help, and they be fired on by cops as well. I've seen children get choked and slammed into the ground. Fucking children, okay? Not adults, like 14, 15-year-olds. Those are children, all right?
Did you see the 3-year-old get maced?
I didn't see that one. No. I did see, however, a pregnant lady get fired on by cops because they were driving down a road.
Hello,
Saw that
Project
one.
America.
I have.
That was really fucked up. That one legitimately made me cry. I sat there and cried for
The 3-year-old or the pregnant woman?
The 3-year-old.
Oh, I was so pissed. At this point right now, there is so much anger. That's why I'm quiet. You came in, you were like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm not okay." Okay, America's not okay. The world right now is not okay. I
did see that picture. The comment says, did you see the pic of the cop who stuck the gun in the face of the kid who was on her dad's shoulders? Yeah, that's a pretty big one.
I haven't seen that one. Honest to God, I'm going to be real with you guys. I don't even have to see it to know that it's out there. Like,
there's a lot of fucked up shit going on right now.
Let me tell you, 2020 is on some movie kind of level shit, all right?
Oh, hey, to end everything, we've got 3 major asteroids heading towards us right now.
Let them take us. Like
they're worried about 2 of them actually colliding with Earth. One of them is going to be skirting.
Fuck it. Hope it takes out a precinct. At this point, I don't give a shit. Okay?
No. These would take out literal entire countries, if not half the planet. They're
you know what? I'm sure right now Canada's sitting upstairs. It's that new 18-year-old kid raised by a good family, nice and polite. And he's living above some kind of fucking crack house. All right. I'm sure that's how Canada feels right now.
Probably. It's
Like any of this shit.
but Canada's got its own issues. They're having a major civil unrest right now, and even the Canadian the Canadian cops are dealing with their own form of police brutality, especially against children at the moment. Children, teenagers, and women especially.
You know, all right, you got to be a big fucking man to do that kind of shit.
Yeah.
All right, like I'm a child of abuse. My mother was abused, like physically and sexually. Let me put that out there, okay? Like I'm a product of sexual and physical abuse, just like my brother's a product of sexual and physical abuse, and my mother is a product of sexual and physical abuse.
So am I.
Okay. I have the kind of backstory that would make grown men break down and cry. Now, I'm not trying to put it out there so I can get sympathy. That's not what I want. I want you guys to understand that I come from a background that's dark, and I am a mixed man. I'm mixed. My family is Native American, Spaniard, and white. Okay. Like conquistador Spaniard, not New Age Spaniard, but legit like Native American, Spaniard, and white man mix. I just so happen to look white enough to pass it, okay? But I still, like, you look at my mother and you can see the bloodline strong. You look at my brother, you can see the bloodline.
You look at you can see the bloodline strong. Okay, I'm more white passing than you, and I'm pretty mixed myself. But right. I'm blonde hair, green eyes, extremely white passing. When I say that, I need to make a point, though, okay? I'm human, just like every other motherfucker on the planet is human. Okay? We're all people. And there's the problem is most of us are peaceful. Let me just put, most of us are peaceful. But we get pissed off just like everybody else. Okay? And the people who aren't peaceful, those are the guys who go to become cops because they know that there's no retaliation. They don't get in trouble for it. So they can become a cop. They can shoot people in the middle of the fucking street and nobody gives a shit because they're a cop. All right? They get defended. Oh, well, they have a tough job. I've gotten into an argument with my mother today. I love my mother and I love my grandparents, but I need to put this out there. Okay? We started talking about the riots, as one does right now. And I said, you know, I'm happy that they're rioting. I'm happy that, you know, the people are finally taking a stand. She's like, well, what about the cops? And I was like, you know what? There's a lot of cops that fucking deserve it right now. And she goes, I can't believe you just said that. I'm like, yeah. Let me, like, there is, my mom, I love my mom. She worked as a dispatcher for years. Okay, she knows cops. And I asked her, I was like, do other cops cover a bad cop's ass? And she said, yeah. Well, yeah. I was like, okay, they are just as guilty as the cop who fucking did it because they're refusing to take him to jail for the shit that he did. And she said, well, that doesn't mean that they're all bad. I said, your fucking Christianity tells you that shit. Hello, mouth of the South. Your Christianity tells you that the worst thing than a bad man is a good man that does nothing. Your religion tells you this, but you are sitting there and defending them because they have a place of authority. And that is not how it works. Okay, if you have a place of authority, you need. It's not a want. You don't want to hold them to a higher standard. You need to hold them to a higher standard. Those are the people who are going to be enforcing laws and policing. Okay, that's what they're supposed to be doing. But this fucking ragtag fucking commie bullshit. This is straight up Gestapo. This is Nazi shit. Nazi Germany. All right. This is fascism, and most people. Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. Are too dumb to even realize that in the past 15, 20 years. I need to make that. I'm not angry at you. I am not saying anymore. I'm looking at you when I'm talking. Especially, 20 or so years, our country has taken a severe downturn from American pride to extreme patriotism to straight up fascism. You guys are allowing your rights to be stripped away and you don't even fucking realize it. Look, okay. And the Socialist Party is coming in and stripping away more rights, giving more government control, and it's killing me to see. It's absolutely killing me to see you guys are allowing this to happen. The Republicans, the fucking Republicans of all people, are allowing and encouraging this to happen in the facade of another Republican president, and it fucking kills me.
All right. We don't agree with social. I don't agree with socialism. I know you don't agree with socialism. You're straight up anarchist. Okay. I don't believe in fascism either. I don't. I think what honest to God.
I belong to a very hardcore community that is completely and utterly against government control.
Absolutely. Okay, you know what? Okay, you're an anarchist. I believe, and this isn't just me believing. This is fucking historical, okay? If you go back and you look at what the intended purpose of the government was, it was not to police the people. At any point was it to police the people? No. The government's job was to be a liaison between the people and foreign governments. That's it. And now it's devolved into some fucking bullshit where they can't even run a cat house and make money. And if you guys don't know about that, just look up the cat house that they got and ran in Vegas that went under. And it was not slow either. That shit went down quick.
Didn't they seize that to begin with?
They seized a cat house, tried to run it, and because of its own stupid bullshit, they couldn't run a fucking cat house. All right? A place that literally sells sex. Sex sells everything. The government can't sell sex. So why are you going to put your faith in a government that can't sell sex? The basic human fucking want and need.
You know, I'm just going to point this out. Like, for the several years that you've known me, I've noticed your views turning more towards anarchy, and it kind of makes me proud. It makes me
what you're
really
seeing. What you're seeing, okay, is my eyes. My eyes have always been open to the world around me. I'm very pragmatic. No, all right. There's always been a bit of anarchism in me. All right. There always has been, because I don't believe in oversight. I don't believe someone looking over your shoulder. I hate that shit. Okay. I hate when somebody doesn't trust me, an adult, to act as an adult. That tells me that they don't expect me to act as an adult. So why should I?
What they do, what the majority that everybody does, even the police are guilty of this. Our local governments are guilty of this. Our media is guilty of this. They dumb us down in such a way that it makes other people believe. Hold on. It makes other people believe that they don't have enough intelligent thought to police themselves or to be true law-abiding citizens. So they make up weird as fucking laws.
Hold on. Your shit, what you're talking about, is called No Child Left Behind, and that was enacted under Bush's
No. It has nothing to do with the education. It is the misbelief that adults are not smart enough to care for themselves, so we have to be put in such a nanny state.
You know what? Okay, let me just put this out there. Any kind of nanny state is going to be fucked up.
Like,
all right?
I don't need to be told how to fucking mother because I'm a smart woman. I know how to fucking mother. I don't need to be told.
I do believe that there should be a test.
How to fucking work. I don't need to be told how to fucking work. I know how to fucking work. I'm a functioning goddamn adult.
Okay. Well, here's the problem. You guys, we just changed it so people can't smoke until they're 21. All right. But we can still charge somebody who's 18 as an adult, but we don't give them the kind of.
We can charge somebody who is 14 as an adult.
Right, but they can't buy or buy cigarettes or alcohol until they're 21. Let me put this out there: the government doesn't believe you can make good choices until you're 21, but they'll still charge you as an adult at 14. Okay, let that sink in. They believe that you know exactly what you're doing when it comes to breaking the law. But when it comes to drinking and smoking, you don't know what you're fucking doing. You're a child. You have to wait until you're 21.
No, even adults, even seniors get treated like children.
They do.
Yeah.
And the problem is it's so broadly done. Like, you were making coffee and I was looking over there making sure you knew what you were doing. And I'm like, and I literally had this thought, stop. I literally had this thought. I was like, she's an adult. She knows what she's fucking doing. Why am I doing this? And I walked away.
Because that is media control. That is a government control. It makes you believe even your neighbor is not capable of functioning
Right.
as an adult or making choices for their own.
Granted, I've seen the way some of you fucking drive. All right, like I guarantee some of you got your fucking driver's license out of a cereal box. All right, I know this. I've seen it. That's about it, though. But let me just. I'm so angry right now. Like, I'm legit. I've been so angry for the last 4 days. I haven't been able to calm down.
No. I've been angry too. Actually, I've just decided this morning that on our podcast here, there is going to be a local protest tomorrow night. While I'm not going to be available tomorrow night because I'm taking my children on a very long fishing trip, tonight I'm available. I'm going to be broadcasting on this podcast live the protests, and I will be also videotaping everything as we're going. So not only are you going to hear the audio side of it just for this podcast for 3 hours straight, you will also see the video that will be uploaded to YouTube and to Facebook about our own local podcast. Well, our own local protest.
Now, I'm not going to be able to be there. I wish I could.
I took off work to spend time with my children today, but I feel
like this means more.
Yeah. Why is everybody feel triggered?
You know why they feel triggered? Because they're getting fucking shot. That's why.
No. The people that were listening today. Why do you feel attacked, Kay Goodwin? Why do you feel triggered, Mouth of the South? I'm really curious to hear about this.
No, I think they're talking amongst themselves. But if I'm wrong, please let me know.
Well, I don't know. The whole part of this is to actively.
Right. I know. Okay, guys, give me a second.
Oh, the license from the cereal box.
Oh, you know what? Fuck you guys. All right. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Yeah. Some fucked up shit makes you guys cheer.
No, all joking aside, guys.
I'm Mouth of the South says my child was actually at the Capitol and hit with a rubber bullet while kneeling with his friends. Yeah. It's a really fucked up situation that's going on right now. My two little cousins are there in DC right now. And they have been there since the beginning. They have been live covering everything. They are recording mounds and mounds of police brutality. So my entire family,
there's no
huge
stop.
Multicultural family, is actually. I have some in Houston that are doing the same thing. I'm doing it from the Midwest where I'm at. Like they're doing it from Seattle. My cousin Dustin actually. He posted a video of the protest in Seattle and him getting sidelined by police. They're walking, chanting, completely peaceful. Next thing you know, the riot team pulls up, SWAT pulls up, and they literally come at them from both sides, just tackling them.
Yeah, okay. And I love my mother. She's a beautiful woman. Okay, she told me yesterday, she goes, well, they're just defending themselves. No. The cops are just defending themselves. It was escalated by hold on. It was just escalated by other people. Other people shot them and they're just escalating it because they don't feel safe. I was like, they don't feel safe as a cop. They need to get another fucking job. Just because some dude shot me or hurt me doesn't give me the right to go out and fuck a 14-year-old without consent. Doesn't give me the right to go out and hurt somebody else because someone did something bad to me.
No,
okay, you don't have that right.
You hold that person, that singular person accountable. There are a lot of antagonists in a lot of these protests right now. The whole white nationalist movement is really, really taking a strong hold
you see
of the BML
local
movement. And what we're seeing right now is the clash of the titans, essentially. I mean, we have two sides coming at each other really fucking hard. And then we have these Boogaloo boys, and they're blaming it on Antifa. And it's like, that hurts my heart because I pride myself in my love for Antifa. Like, I pride myself in that.
And until you find out that a lot of them are ran by white supremacists.
Not Antifa. No, they're not. But
there's a few that are. I was just on Reddit the other day,
No,
and they're like,
there is a lot of white nationalists that are taking hold of a lot of, not even taking hold, but creating fake stuff and blaming it on Antifa to get Antifa classified as a terrorist organization when none of us are organized.
Let me just put it out there. Okay, this local shit where the cop cars got spray painted with Black Lives Matter. That ain't happening around here. No black guy is spray painting Black Lives Matter.
That was
pure
white nationalist.
Yes. I don't even see the difference between a white supremacist and white nationalist. I don't know the difference.
White nationalist is literally the umbrella term for all of the Aryan Nation and all of the groups of every single Aryan Nation.
That makes fucking sense.
It is white supremacy. It's literally white supremacy is the same as white nationalist. Either way, I just don't like the term supremacy. And I will never call.
Hold on.
I will never use that term with the Aryan Nation.
It's the same. It's the same as you not liking when guys call themselves an alpha.
Yeah.
Okay. It's the same shit.
It is.
When some guy walks up to you, he's like, "Hey, baby, you done with all these betas around here? Ready to get with an alpha?" That's the fucking guy who will brutally murder you. Okay, and be creepy the whole fucking time.
No,
any man who calls himself an alpha is a piece of shit.
Any man who wants to refer in the terms of alpha and beta in general
has a power fucking structure problem. Yeah, that's what it is.
More than likely, they come from abuse where they had no power.
Yeah. I had no power. I don't consider myself an alpha. I don't consider myself a beta. I'm a fucking man, and I'm gonna act like it.
Yeah. No, there's just something broken. Hold on, I gotta take my shoes off because fuck shoes.
You still got those fucking things?
Yeah.
Dear Christ, you bought them when you first started working next to me. Like,
fuck yeah, I did.
Jesus Christ. Some Jesus-looking sandals.
I know. I love it. They're all hemp. They're fantastic. But right now, fuck shoes because I need to be natural. And if you weren't here, I'd be naked.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Hello, Area 81. How are you? Welcome to the show, UW Goddess. You know, and that sucks, Mouth of the South. You know, the comment says he wasn't breaking any laws. He was peacefully protesting. The world is full of bad people, but not all people are bad.
It's illegal for them to shoot him.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I have seen more war crimes, like legitimate war crimes. I mentioned this earlier. Okay, attacking a medic is a war crime. Attacking volunteer doctors, war crime. There are war crimes being committed. It's actual, literal war crimes. I need to stress that.
However, they're not military, therefore they do not have the same consequences.
Nah, there's a lot of them that are volunteer medics from the military.
But they're they're acting more in a civilian role than the military.
No. If the Geneva Convention says it's wrong to do it in a time of war, what makes you think it's okay to do it to civilian doctors?
You know, hold on. There's actually, speaking of military, there's something that's going on. There's a movement in the military right now that I'm going to speak of loosely. I can't speak of really hardcore, but there are some that are dropping their weapons and walking away from post. And it started over in Germany. It's happening in France. There's literally U.S. militaries completely. And yeah, I'm sure they can be considered AWOL, but you know what? When it happens in the fucking hordes, because they cannot stand behind our president, you know, claiming that our neighbors, ourselves, our children, our parents, our siblings, our family, everyone that we know and love, every civilian in the United States of America is now a domestic terrorist because of his rantings and his dementia. He's fucking insane. And how are we? And there are people that are still cheering this. They're being classified as terrorists themselves, but they're still cheering this. Yeah, bring in the fucking military. And there are some locally that are actually calling out to the white nationalists to rescue them in these times of protest when they don't realize that they're actually the ones causing all of the harm. They're the antagonists of this movement. You know, just like they did in Ferguson, just like they did in Charlottesville, just like they did in the majority. Even here, I have gone up against them so many times with different protests that I've posted.
Hold on, guys. I'm just going to put Floyd on blast here. All right. She's actually hated by the local white nationalists and the Aryan Brotherhood. Like, they fucking hate her. She's on their list of people to fucking kill, I'm sure. All right. Like,
I have articles on their blog posts and stuff written about me.
Yes, she does. She has entire articles. Now, it looks like they've been written by a 3-year-old who dropped out of, first grade. But I'll tell you this.
I know
fucking articles.
I know I'm on Billy Roper's list personally.
Yes, she is.
He
yes, she is.
Himself. Billy, if you ever hear this, seriously, meet me outside. You can go fuck yourself.
There's so God.
There's.
Like, I'm so proud of. Like, you pissed off the white nationalists to the point to where they put you on a fucking list.
Yeah.
And wrote articles about you. They literally learned how to read just to write an article about you. Okay.
I've pissed them off enough in my protest that I've been called out on their loudspeaker when they were counter protesting.
Yes, you have.
That made me so happy. I smiled and handed one
that
of them
makes
a bottle
me
of water
happy
because I come from love. I don't come from hate like they do.
Well, okay, look, when all you experience through your life is hate, one of two things happens, guys. You either learn how to love in your own way, and it becomes the most amazing and beautiful thing you'll ever have, or you turn into a hateful son of a bitch. Okay? That's the only two ways that happens.
And I'm definitely gone through so much shit. I'm a product of love. Like,
yes.
I'm a product of
It's like a double
love.
negative. If all you get is hate, eventually you learn that that's not the way, and you turn to love. Now, I know you were crazy when you were younger.
Yeah.
Okay? You're still dealing with some shit. All right? I'm still dealing with some shit. But we understand and we focus on what was fucked up about us. And that's what makes us healthy. Yeah. Okay? We're healthy because we recognize our own shortcomings and how we're fucked up. That makes us healthier than the next guy. Yeah. Doesn't make us the healthiest. I'm not saying we're the healthiest, but I will say that due to our own cognition, our cognitive ability, and our own self-inflection, we've come to a point where we realize we're not the healthiest people, but by God, we are healthier than most.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. We are all learning how to be the healthiest versions of ourselves. Not all of us. I can't say all of us because there's a lot of people who thrive on their own toxicity.
Yes.
And they don't see a problem.
Hell, we both thrive on chaos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think I thrive on chaos a little bit more than you.
Probably because I like peace.
Yeah.
Like I can deal with chaos and I can deal with high pressure situations and I can think really well. But
speaking of high pressure situations, guys, I'm going to put this out there because I had to deal with it literally 2 days ago. All right. Mental health is not a joke.
Hello, unapologetically black.
Mental health is not a joke. If someone you know, someone you love is acting right, ask them if something's wrong. You guys get a vibe, talk to them. If you need help, reach out. All right. I
can only call you Ace when you're on Ace. Sorry.
We all need love, and some of us don't think we deserve it. Yeah. One of my very good friend's mothers tried to shoot herself just a couple of days ago because she doesn't think that she has any worth. Now, I got the phone call at 5 a.m. And unlike most, I answer my fucking phone at 5 a.m. because if somebody's calling me at 5 o'clock in the morning, if they're calling me, who know I sleep in till like 10, 11, noon. Like, I don't give a shit when I wake up. If they're calling me early in the morning, they know that I'm going to know that something's wrong.
Yeah.
And when I opened up that fucking conversation and I asked and I heard my friend crying and breaking down and having a screaming fit because she didn't know what to do. Guys, if you're the people that get called.
No, your story isn't over, Ace. In fact,
fuck no, it's not.
You are incredibly fucking valuable. You are the shit and you are loved. You're loved by me. You're loved by Corey. Like, you are a foundation in our lives, in our podcast, in your life. You mean more to those around you than you can ever imagine. and you are a badass bitch, girl. So fuck me,
Damn
your
straight.
story isn't over. You're a badass.
Damn straight. When you're that person who gets that phone call at 5 a.m. and you answer it, stay calm.
Mhm.
Ask them what happened. Call the ambulance. Do a three-way phone call. All right, or a three-way, but make a three-way phone call with the hospital, the local hospital. All right, stay on the line. That way, your friend knows that they have support in that serious scenario, like that situation. Know that they have support. Give your support. Show up. Show the fuck up. All right. Be ride or die. You can have fucking questions, but be a ride or die bitch. Okay. I'm a ride or die bitch. I've got fucking questions like, where are we going? Is there going to be food? How long is it going to take? Like, I got questions, but I'll fucking be there.
But yeah, same. Like, I'm the
Like,
same way.
yeah.
Like, pretty much my phone, if it's not on silent, I'm going to answer it.
Right, right.
It's only on silent during the day.
Right. But right now, this is the time. This is the time where you have to be a ride or die bitch. You either get on the fucking train or you stay away from it for the rest of your fucking life. Okay.
Hold on. I want to go back to a comment from Mouth of the South. Mouth of the South, do I have your permission to use your real name by chance in this, or do you just want me to refer you to Mouth of the South? Like, I can do both. Can I wait for her to...
That's okay. We'll talk about something until she answers. Guys, like, I spent the majority of my Tuesday from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. walking them through the process of getting their mother, the word escapes me right now, committed. Okay? Because in my job, I've come across a few instances where I've had to do that. Okay? Where you have to commit somebody. Because of the COVID-19, they wouldn't allow her husband in there with her. Her husband, a man of 48 years, had no idea what to do. A man who's prided on himself as being the pillar of his family for his entire life, felt like his job, his one singular focus of building a life and making a family was wrong. And he had no idea what to do. His entire life was crumbling in front of his eyes. And this man broke down and cried. This is a man who does not cry. And you all know that guy. The guy who holds it in, waits till he's alone, and then does his business and comes back out of the closet or the bedroom or wherever he was at, letting his emotions out. And he comes back into society. This man broke down and cried in front of me. Okay. When you guys are put in that kind of situation, just remain calm and walk them through it. All right. My friend is a beautiful woman. She's an absolutely beautiful woman. I'm blessed that my wife is friends with her. They've been friends since fucking 9th grade. Okay. 20 fucking years. 20 fucking years they've been friends almost. Almost 20 years. Like more like 16, 15, 17, something like that. Oh, 20 fucking years. It's 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They've known each other forever. And I'm blessed that my wife was able to find a friend who meant that to her. They literally do everything together. There's days where I wake up and her friend's in the kitchen with her, and all of a sudden I've got 40 dozen fucking cookies and cakes and pie and brownie. Floy knows what I'm talking about. She'll come over and be like, "Hey, did your wife bake?" Yes, she did. Because there's fucking cookies and cakes and all kinds of... I'm diabetic. I can't fucking enjoy this shit.
No, but I can. And his wife keeps me happily fed.
God, she's good. She's really good.
I come over twice a week and load up on goods. But anyways.
I love my wife. I love the fact that my wife has friends. And when it comes to supporting my wife's friends, as her husband, that's my job. Just like supporting my wife. Okay, if my wife wants to go back to college to become a vet, because she's a vet tech. I don't know if you guys know that. She's a vet tech. She works with animals all day long.
Like,
damn
majorly
straight.
push her to that.
Damn straight. I've already told her. I was like, baby, if you want to become a vet, you just let me know. If you want to do absolutely anything, you let me know. I will get a second job. I'll get a better paying job to put you through college because I know that you have potential. And if you ever want to do anything with that, you just let me know. If you want to just stay home and take care of the kids, I'm fine with that too.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the Black Lives Matter movement, okay? Because they do. Black lives do matter. The whole all lives matter movement, guys.
Okay, I do not like words that are seriously formed in white nationalism.
Hold on.
Fuck that.
Hold on.
All life
Hold
matters. I know my fucking life matters.
Right.
I know my neighbor's life fucking matters.
Right. Pause 1 second. The all lives matter movement. Guys, you kind of missed a chance. All right? The Black Lives Matter movement, the best thing to do is reverse psychology. If you picked up that and protested with them that all lives matter, you would have fucked them up. Okay? Like, you guys missed it. But that's okay. That's okay. Because we're here with you. You're not alone. It's not you versus them.
I want Ace to jump on the end call for a minute. I want to hear what she has to say. Yeah. The train
Yes, it did.
Yeah, get your ass up on this call. Hit that call button, bitch. Let's go.
Let's see if this is working now. We had some issues with it, but if you give it a go, I'll give it a go. Like, I trust you.
Nah, come on. Actually, I agree. I agree with Herbal Society. All lives matter is like taken away from the inequality to Black people, which they only they face. I agree wholeheartedly. I think it's hold on, I'm getting a phone call. It's the majority of, and this is where you guys might kick me in the ass a little bit, but it's the majority of minorities in general, from the freaking Native Americans all the way to the Black man. Like, they're all being suppressed. They're all being. Oh God.
Okay.
God, sorry, I'm about to get really emotional.
Pause. Ace, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Oh, hell yeah!
It works again.
All right.
How are you doing today?
I will go ahead and I'll answer your question the way I've been answering it for everybody. I'm alive, so I'm better than my fallen brothers and sisters.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
All right. Hold on. What I want to get on here. I wanted you to get on here for a reason. I want to hear, as a Black woman, your take on your opinions, what your values of the movement that's going on now.
My take.
Let it out.
Values.
Let it out. There's no wrong answer.
Oh, buddy. Okay. So the easiest way that I can put this or formulate this right now is using a story that I use a lot. I use it on PG's podcast. I've used it on Taz's podcast. I've used it on Joanna's podcast. Look at it as I go ahead and I come over to your house and I go to your kitchen to get a glass of water and I turn the knob on your sink, and in the process of doing so, I break it. I take that knob and I walk up to you and say, so here's your knob. So what you gonna do about that? Yeah, I broke it, but what you gonna do about it? And that is literally where we're at right now. The broken knob represents what has been done to the Black community. And it's not that it's not just the Black community. We know, we understand. We are not the only ones that suffer some sort of injustice. But at this point in time, you have come to our backyards. You have broken our backs. You have killed our people. And now you're looking at us like we're supposed to be okay with this and just fix it on our own. No, we're done. We're done. At this point, the society has painted a picture of us and what a Black person is and how we're ignorant and we're uneducated and, we're ghetto, we're thugs, we're this, we're that, the other. This picture has been painted. It's been painted for centuries. This picture is dry. The paint has been cracked. It is peeling. And at this point in time, fuck that shit. You painted this picture. We're going to go ahead and we're going to give you this picture and we're going to fight back. It's been an ongoing cycle for centuries. But even in the last decade, we have sat here and we've had Black person after Black person after Black person get killed unjustifiably by police officers, some of which you will never hear the names of.
Oh, absolutely.
We watched you we watched you come into our neighborhoods, our homes, and shoot people for just being in their yard playing. In 10 seconds, that child moves too fast that you want to go ahead and you feel threatened by a kid because of the color of his skin. At this point, racism is not our fucking problem. Racism is white America's problem. So at this point, you guys need to figure out what the fuck you're going to do to fix it, because until then, we are going to raise hell. We are going to stop letting you make us complacent. Just because you fix this particular situation and give us justice, we're not dumb. This goes on every fucking day. We're tired of it. We had leaders that have tried and fought for us. We've had points in our lives in history, whether we were physically there for it or not, where somebody has stood up and said, you know what, enough's enough. We're going to do it the peaceful way. It worked until you killed our leader. We're going to do it the violent.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but you were also told that the peaceful way wasn't the right way.
No, it's not. That we were told it didn't work.
You were told that having a voice isn't the right way. Standing up for yourselves isn't the right way.
It's not the right way. And then so we try the violent way. That's not the right way. So at this point, we've understood.
Yeah, but they listen.
America, yeah, they listened though. It caught attention. America doesn't know peace. How do you speak a language to a group of people that they don't understand?
Well, America's only been outside of war for what, like 33 years out of the 300 years that we've been?
We have never not been in a war.
Like, actually, there's a historian in here. I know he's in here. Goodwin, you wanna tell me how many years America has been peaceful and not in war? Because I think it's like 33 years or something out of the 300 years that we've been founded. Like some crazy nonsense. Like only a tenth of America's history has been peaceful. Okay,
that's sad.
No, see, I there, as my recollection, and married to a fucking historian, I get corrected a lot on my history. But my recollection is America has literally never known peace from the time that
we
conquered this land. Yeah, from the time that we conquered to this day and age. Our peace has never been, because even if we have not been at war, we have still had war on our streets.
That's a good way to put it. I like that. I like that a lot. Regardless of whether we've been to war with another nation, we've had war in our own streets.
It is. Herbal Society says, I'm not sure. All I know, they carry out violence in the States, also in other countries. Absolutely, they fucking do.
We did learn from the best.
Fucking British. Fuck you, British.
Sorry, Herbal. You're getting called out a little bit, but
yeah. At least they have known in modern history, they have known more peace than we have.
True. They've also been around a lot longer. We haven't, like our record is completely stained. It is stained. Our entire record has been stained with blood, because we know no other way.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not in the comment section there speaking of killing babies and stuff. I'm not. That's a subject that I will cry on air. War in general really bothers me. Civil unrest really bothers me, and seeing murder or knowing of murder. I need to hold on. Give me a moment.
Yeah, like I said yesterday, I was actually talking with Herbal yesterday on her podcast, and I made the comment that we're all capable of great love, the most amazing kind of love. We're also capable of the most egregious, violent acts ever seen. We're capable of absolutely anything. We're capable of changing someone's mind in such an extreme negative way that they continue that shit for the rest of their lives, and they enact greater violence than those before them. But we're also capable of changing someone in a positive way, where they enact greater love than those that came before them. We have the ability to change people into a better version of themselves than any who came before them. And that's my goal. My goal is to teach people that you can do an amazing.
Yeah, right now it is Black Lives Matter Society.
Yeah.
But in order to change, in order to justify, and this is not justify, but in order to change the minds of everyone around us, and to, this is going to sound really fucked up, justify the deaths that have caused this nation to become completely civil unrest. We need to completely enwrap everyone, because we are whole. And I know Black Lives fucking matter, and I know this is for them. But in order to do that for them, we have to lift them up as a nation and have them on our shoulders. We need, as a white community, as a multicultural community, because that is what we are. We are one nation, but we are multiple cultures. We need to lift every minority up on our shoulders, and completely, this is the Latinos, this is the Blacks, this is the Asians, this is the Indians, this is literally everyone, and form that chain strength and refuse to let our chains break. Because if we don't do that, there's no way that we can fix the problem in the Black community. There's no way that we can fix the problem in the Latino community. We have to.
There's no way we can fix the problem in the white community.
No, and we have to stand as a whole. So, I mean, that's my movement goal right there, is to make people realize to stand as a whole. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No,
all right.
It's okay.
Go ahead. I'm getting that whole death babies thing is still fucking with me.
But if it doesn't, that means you are less than human.
No.
I'm sorry, but any child needs to be. All children need to be protected.
Fuck yeah, they do.
Okay, they're babies. They're literal babies are being killed.
And as much as it hurts us as a nation that these deaths have taken place,
it's like lancing a wound.
This is exactly what has needed to take place in order to enact that change to stop systematic oppression and racism. Mm-hmm. And it fucking sucks.
Oh, guys, just to put this out there, it has not passed yet, but they're trying to pass a demilitarization law on the police. They're already
stripping San Francisco.
Well, thank fucking Christ.
They've completely stripped San Francisco of their military gear.
Like, there's
Trump is losing his RNC. Like, there's a lot of military is walking away from their post. So there's a lot of shit that's happening because of these actions.
Ace, you're not alone.
No. I'm right here in front of you.
Exactly, and I know it, and that's the best part of it all. Even though we have our own battles within inside the Black community, and we will never say that they aren't there. People like to throw those in our face, but the minute that I've been out on the protest lines and we're peaceful, it's the police that come up and try to make it aggressive. And every time our allies are the ones that stood, literally made lines in front of us, made circles around us. Like, you're not going to touch them, because what's the one thing they won't do? As sad as it is to say, the police will not put a hand on a white person standing there being peaceful. So they've literally surrounded us to make it clear that that gap that Mouth of Yourself was talking about, they're the ones standing there filling that gap, making sure that they're connecting that bridge. Like, you know what? If you want to get to them, you've got to get through us. And they know they won't do it. So they have stood there, and the police have had no choice but to stand there and just watch us as we continue our protest, because there's no getting through. It's like, what's that name? That game we used to play as kids? Red Rover. They're all holding hands. Go ahead and try and break that chain. They're not letting you.
No.
Sorry, I'm whispering to Floyd over here.
Secrets are no fun, sir.
No. Actually, one of the commenters was my sister. No, it's not my sister.
Foy has a very mixed family, and I mean, I'm very mixed. I'm a very mixed man.
Okay, I don't want to derail conversation.
Right.
Sorry.
But I was asking her if one of the commenters was her sister.
No, that's Liz, actually.
Oh. Okay.
All right. Hold on. So what you said a minute ago about the protesters not laying hands on the white Americans. I don't want to argue you because I understand your point is valid, but I
think they're more hesitant.
They're hesitant, yes,
yeah.
but there have been 17 murders from the police for white protesters in just the past 2 days.
Number of black people who've been killed in the protests.
4.
And I won't deny it. And I believe that is absolutely true. And I also think that part of it is the demographic area, depending on the area. So
absolutely,
to kind of explain the St. Louis protest that I went to, it wasn't necessarily like that. It was police versus everybody. They didn't give a damn. And I can't entirely blame them because in one night we burnt down. Okay, I'm saying we, but doesn't mean I actually did it. I promise I was not a part of this. We burnt down a good chunk of St. Louis, and 4 cops were shot in the process of an outgoing war. I was the one loading people in my van. As soon as we heard shots, I go, whoop, and let's go. I don't care who you are. I don't need to know anything about you. Get in the fucking vehicle. We're leaving and getting somewhere safe.
Damn straight. I've actually seen a lot of videos where, people are needing to get home before curfew, and people are getting in other people's cars and leaving. And then those cars are getting, people pulled out of them, dragged out of them, slammed on the fucking ground, dragged over to the grass, handcuffed before they can get home, just so they can charge them with something. Yeah. Matter of fact, I was just reading a news article, and this is probably a couple of years ago. It might be new. I don't fucking know. There was a black man who was arrested and beat. No charges were brought up against him except for the destruction of police property. And the reason he had destruction of police property is because he bled on the uniforms of the cops after they beat the shit out of him. Okay, you want to talk about some shit? That's some shit. I've reached my point of reality. Like, this is no longer reality. This is so fucking surreal that all this, this has happened. The last 4 days have been, 2020. I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. 2020 is on some straight up movie shit. Okay. Like, we almost had World War III. There was a global pandemic that's still ongoing. Massive global unrest. I'm not even going to call it civil unrest. It is global unrest. Countries around the world are rioting because of George Floyd's death. Okay. And in their own way, they're putting their own police brutality shit on the same fucking stake, and they're putting it out there. There's a Frenchman, who was killed by police, I think, in a very similar way to George Floyd. They're rioting. Those motherfuckers know how to riot. You guys want to learn how to riot correctly? You look at the French, you look at the Chinese, okay? The French straight up built an entire barrier out of cars, fucking bicycles, beds, fucking couches, and then set that shit on fire in the middle of the street to create a wall.
Oh.
Okay? Like, those guys know how to protest. They've been doing it every week for literally 2,000 years. All right, they know what they're doing.
Hold on, I just got an email from my community group, and so this is going to be one thing that brings not only whites and minorities together, but the country as a whole. And it's a slow start, but my community group has working with a lawyer at the Capitol of Little Rock, who is going to be petitioned for this at a federal level to pass this law. But they're writing a new law defunding all schools, like completely wiping the school funding clean. And instead of taking property taxes, because schools are funded by property taxes in certain communities, that's why we have better schools than others, but literally putting it into a federal fund and distributing it equally after that. So there's not going to be any schools left behind or defunded or underfunded or overfunded. It's literally all schools are going to be funded equally if this passes.
Hell yeah. I've said that for years. Like, guys, one thing that Sweden's got right is their schools.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then this is the bill that our community is hopefully working towards. So we'll see how it passes, because right now a lawyer in Little Rock is going to be working on that. Because all schools need to be on the same playing level.
I've said that.
Yeah.
Ace, I know you're there.
No, it's not. It's not all communities. They're taking this to the federal level to completely do this with all schools that are government funded or state funded across.
That would be.
I don't even think there should be private schools.
But then think about it. If all communities started getting on board and doing the same thing, and you have all these communities fighting for the same reason, not just yours or Little Rock or whatever, but multiple communities, they won't have a choice but to hear it.
Fuck yeah.
Look, one of my biggest issues, I grew up in Denver, Colorado. Okay. Like, that was where I was raised.
It's so pretty out there.
All right. Right next to Colfax. If you guys have ever been to Denver, you guys know that you're either robbing somebody or getting robbed on Colfax or trying to fuck someone. Okay. It is not a nice street unless you're the third party. Yeah, it's full. That's where I grew up. I grew up in a very mixed community. I loved it. I've actually, I've been trying to find him for years now, but I had a really good friend when I was younger. And
get back on your point. Don't
I had a really good friend when I was younger from school when I was there, and I've tried to find him on Facebook, and I haven't been able to. And I wish I could. I had some of my best memories were because of that massive multicultural stigma. Like, I love that. I love being able to just exist and be accepted because it was normal. And now I live in one of the most racist fucking towns in the United States.
It is literally the most racist town in the United States. It is listed as number one.
Yes, but that is because of zinc.
No, that's just because of the white nationalist hold in general.
Well, yeah, you're also right.
And it's very apparent.
What was that new billboard? What was the new billboard?
So there is this thing. It's called Little Birdie Told Me on Facebook. It's it's kind of like our community page for the group, the town that we live in, and there are literally people begging the white nationalists to come in and to save them from the big bad BLM movement and claiming rights and everything from our protest tonight.
You can probably
it makes me sad that knowing that all of these people, even these kids as young as the teenagers, I look at the pictures and some of these commenters, and they're like 12.
Yeah, they have that just fucking rhetoric where they feel like it's okay to just bash another fucking race. And you know what? You're not even another fucking race. You're human. Bash another human for the color of their skin.
And that's just well, they are.
That's.
I mean, they're multiple.
It's saying race gives them a name, a tag, a designation. That's not what they are. They're people. Remove the race, remove the color from it. They're people, and they're just being treated differently because their skin is. My family is a very dark family for this area. My grandparents tried to buy a home, and they were politely, I use air quotes there, told to get the fuck out and not to buy a home. Like, that's the kind of shit that they dealt with. Like, that's a real fucking thing. Okay.
And this is the shit. Okay, so a little backstory from the people listening who may not know. I am also from a mixed family, but I'm from Houston, and I grew up in the heights of downtown Houston, So definitely an inner city kid myself.
Damn straight.
Completely inner city. I could
Mhm.
completely walk to school. Our schools had metal detectors, gun pat downs daily, drugs in our lockers daily. It is fucking dogs everywhere. And if we stepped out of line, we even had to wear uniforms because the theft of personal clothing was so hardcore in our schools.
Oh, that okay.
We had to wear these shoes that they assigned to us, and they only gave us one pair of shoes to wear per school year. If we grew out of it, fucked off, kind of thing. Still inner city. And
I've got to
I understand.
make a comment real quick.
What?
That the uniforms. Okay, guys, when you try to make everything uniform, it's like a HOA, a homeowners association. Okay, there's nothing but negative things that are going to come from that. If everything is the same, nothing is unique. So you get used to the fact that everyone's the same and nothing's unique. And as soon as someone different walks into your fucking homeowners association, anywhere in that area, you're going to call. Look, you guys I'm sure you guys have seen the video. Fucking just search HOA. Just homeowners association.
We're not going on that today.
I know we're not. There's a point that I'm going to make to this. Okay. There's going to be lists. Okay. Of shit that has happened. There was literally a FedEx driver, black guy, trying to deliver a fucking package, got stopped by the HOA president and held for like 45 fucking minutes because
I remember that video.
Yeah, because he didn't tell him what he was doing and where he was going.
Yeah, he was being suspicious because he was a black guy in a white neighborhood.
Right. Okay, that's the problem. Homeowners associations, the whole uniformity shit, that's false. That is the biggest bullshit you could ever sign yourself up for.
Yeah, that leads to more discrimination. But anyways, like I was getting on to the point.
I'm sorry, I had to interject.
I come to this town, from the huge cultural dynamic that I had. All races coming together in that city right there, and then I come here, and it's so whitewashed. I mean, I didn't see another black person.
Oh, until we met.
Until I
D.
No. I've met a few black men. There's a few black men in our town now, but we're considered a sundown town.
Well, we were the last sundown town in America. I know every black person in here knows what the fuck that is.
Yeah.
But for those of you who don't know, Herbal, I don't know if you know what that is. All black people had to be out of the town by sundown or they were going to get lynched. That's.
So in our modern day society, we come to this community, and I can pass in this community because I'm blonde hair, green eyes, but I'm still hated because of my ideas in this community. And
we are not popular. I can tell you that much.
No. I'm still massively hated to the point where it's put a hard strive on me to actually find a sustainable job where I don't have to work 90 fucking hours a week in this place because I'm so vocal. But I'm vocal about this because this is something that I'm passionate about, because
I'm not going to be silenced.
These humans, one thing that I've noticed is the majority of them, they're not coming here from legit hatred. It's because they're naive, because they're ignorant to issues, because they're ignorant, because this is literally all they've ever known and ever been told.
Did you read that study I sent? I posted on the Just FK page for Facebook.
Hold on, we'll get to that in a second. And when you're fighting ignorance, people are scared. So that is this is mine.
Yeah, no, mine's over here.
Oh. So people are scared to learn new things. They're scared to diversify their mind because they were always taught against it. And definitely what we're dealing with, it's not something that comes natural. It is something that is very much ingrained in society because the black man was taught that he was cattle. He was literally used to plow fields back in the day and never given a worth.
Guys, I'm just gonna put this out there. Okay, you know those films with John Wayne, cowboy shit. Like my grandpa watches that shit all the time. Do you know the majority of cowboys were actually black men?
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, well, the majority of black men were freed after the Civil War, And because they had so much farming experience and just experience working on the field, working with animals, they actually became cattle working with cattle and becoming cowboys. Like the majority of black men were actually cowboys, but you don't see that in the cowboy movies. You actually, yeah, that. Okay, good one. Good old God, I love the fact that we have a historian in the chat. Like, I love that. Because I can fact check myself. But yes.
See, that was something I was very ignorant to, because I absolutely, growing up where I came from, I love Black culture. I have dove so hard into Black culture, even the music that I listened to, from, God, old Howlin' Wolf, to Zydeco, that is literally everything that I represent. So I come from not so much of a knowledge of what they were used to work for, but a knowledge of the only value that they were given was a few pennies after they played a show, and only used for their entertainment values. And that's why so many, back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, even 60s, so many of them painted the blackface because they thought it would boost their ratings, because only Black people they were show monkeys. They were entertaining. That was it.
Well, we actually put Black people in a zoo once, right?
Yeah. And I swear to God, if any audio clips get out of this, please don't take my words out of context, because I realized how shitty that just sounded. And if that was just
clipped, well, no. You're speaking from a historical point, okay? And I think the people in this podcast respect.
Yeah, no, I understand, but hearing that as a whole, but just if it's taken out of context, just
it's taken out of context, it's racist as fuck.
And that's we have devalued the minorities so much that they're only here for entertainment.
We appreciate that, Ace. You can just talk, right? Like, if you want to interrupt us, just go for it.
I don't like interrupting people. I don't. It's not my thing. But no, that's what I say all the time. Every time somebody brings up race, I'm like, I'm half Black, half white, 100% offended. So with that being said, and then I'll carry on the conversation.
Like, jump in. Like, we need you here.
Yeah.
We do. Like, me and Floyd are used to just talking over one another, because that's how we vibe, is just like, hey, hold up. Like, I got to say something about what you just said. And then getting back, if you need to interject and say, hold up, I got something to say, just say it. Like, we'll shut the fuck up. Like,
no, you're absolutely fine. I just think I find it interesting that we're talking about, like, historically, like the entertainment and the things that I did not know that they were ever displayed like a zoo. Now that one was new information to me, but like the entertainment and stuff, it's entertaining to me to hear this, because PG just brought it up last night. Like, look at everything that our culture does. So much of it was taken from, Blacks, like the music. And he's like, well, we can argue about punk. We can argue about, of course, we already know, like, right now, what the Blacks dominate rap, but let's talk about like all the different things, the jazz, the blues. A lot of it stems from, it stems from there. And then when you started bringing up the television and like the blackface, we were laughing, because if you look at it now, like, you'll see a Black family now portrayed on TV, but it didn't used to be that way. It was a white person with blackface, just like at one point in time, instead of women, it was men dressed as women. But when you look at the Black family on TV, that you see even small little things in the commercials, you will see a broken Black family. Now, don't get me wrong. There are shows where you'll see a full Black family, mom, dad, all kids together. What's that show? Oh, it's got so many freaking stems off from it now. I can't remember. No, not
the one with Chris?
Cleveland?
No, it wasn't a cartoon. Quit thinking.
No. It's a TV show that's out now that does portray a full Black family, and for some reason the name of it is escaping me, which is funny because I watch it. Meh, I'll remember eventually. But there are shows where it'll show like a full Black family. But if you pay attention to a lot of the things that we watch, even commercials, it'll be a broken Black family. You'll see the mom, but you'll never see the dad, or you'll see the dad and never see the mom.
Project America said, "Is this Blackish?"
Yes, thank you, Blackish. Yes, you're awesome. Thank you, Project America, Blackish. And then they got the spinoff. They got Mixed-ish, and Everything
even
else,
the
but
blackish though, that's still not, a full black family, because it's still, the mom is mixed, the children are mixed.
she
They're
is technically
portrayed,
mixed. Yes,
yeah, they're whitewashed.
they are. Everything that you'll see, we're going to be whitewashed. Everything. When you do see it, it's the let's say, for instance, like you watch the movies meant for teenagers. Okay, so we got the teens in school, and you got the token black guy, that one token friend, but they're the whitewashed friend. When we do get portrayed in movies, a lot of times we're portrayed as the version that America wants us to see. Wants you to see. So we're the villains, we're the crooks, we're the thugs, we're the ones running the street, gang banging and doing drugs and selling drugs and all of this. And the killer part is, America owns the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
All the other
we do.
countries buy the rights to our stuff. So what do you think happens? Not only have you brainwashed America to believe that all blacks are thugs, but now this stuff is getting bought by other countries, to where I have Hispanic friends that when their family moved over here, they were taught to stay away from black people because of how they were portrayed on TV. Their grandparents legit think that all black people are thugs. And they go back and they're like, no, grandma, like, that's not true. Like, I understand this is what TV shows us, but that's not the case.
I come from a mixed family, and my grandparents think that, and it pisses me off because my grandparents are mixed. And they still think that because that's what they see on the news constantly. And they sit there and they fucking watch that shit. And it pisses me off that I've been in an argument. Me and my brother have recently pissed my grandparents off and our own mother off quite well, I should say, because of our views, just the way we think. And like, I had to sit there and tell my grandpa, I was like, you know what, Grandpa, it's not right. And he goes, well, they're thugs. And I'm like, no, not all black people are thugs. Just like not all white people are racist. Just like not all cops are bad. Like, there are going to be the bad people of every group.
Yeah.
That's not the majority. That's the 3% that everybody runs into because they're assholes.
I think that's just that's human nature, though. We have, but that's not even so much human nature. People are a victim of their circumstances and what they're given in life, and the heavily impoverished groups is where you're going to find the most crime, the most petty crime, even the most murders.
Look, nothing makes my heart swell more than being called baby by an old black woman. Okay, because
I miss that.
Let me tell you, that's like just some good old love right there.
Yeah. And they say it to you. They don't care who you are. You ain't got to be family. Oh, your baby child, come here. And you're like, oh, yeah, I'm accepted.
I know. Okay, we had this before we moved to the inner city. We still have a family farm, but it was a little town in Texas called Nacogdoches.
What about nachos?
Nacogdoches. The oldest town in Texas. And
who the fuck is naming these places? Like fucking Toad Suck.
Okay.
Who names the city Toad Suck?
I don't know. Okay. Anyways, a little community called Nacogdoches in Texas, and there was this most amazing black family that lived right next door, and they owned the farm there, and they still own the farm next to my family farm, and they have for, over 100 years now, and they're literally one of the oldest residents, the oldest family dating back in Nacogdoches. And there was this old lady. She would watch me every single day. I would get off the bus, and every single time I stepped out of that line, she would take that switch to my ass and chase me down that driveway.
Damn straight.
But we all called her Big Mama. She was a big old black lady, and she made the most wonderful food. And she was the sweetest woman anybody could ever meet. Mm-hmm. I miss that. It makes me miss home. It really does. Because I miss that every day. Hey, big girl. And that just made me think of it. God, I miss her. Anyways.
I've said this several times, but I feel like we've had very different experiences than most people. Because I haven't had any negative experiences with black people. I haven't had any negative experiences with Mexicans. Shit, I fucking played poker with fucking Mexican mafia, okay? And let me tell you, those are some funny motherfuckers.
I see, that's the thing. Okay, I have, though. I've had negative experiences with every culture, but I know, and I'm intelligent enough to know and to realize that is not everybody as a whole.
No. I've had more bad experiences with white people than I care to admit.
Oh, fuck yeah, especially living in this goddamn town.
Yeah.
Fucking sundown piece of shit town. I am being driven insane by living in this town. But I am dedicated to the cause to change the mindset of literally every person who walks the streets and is considered a Harrison resident. Because let me tell you, they are ignorant as fuck. And it just stems from a place of legit not knowing, not true hatred. So it is my job.
They really don't know true hatred.
No, it is literally my job to educate every single person that I come across.
Yes.
Because this is literally going back generations and generations and generations of hardcore ingrained, taught to hate anything that is not what they're used to. It's taught to hate change of any kind. It's taught to hate literally everything. And so it's not a true hatred.
But we had to protest to get a goddamn Hobby Lobby. Okay.
I held the first LGBT gay parade here that was ever in Harrison. Okay, and it started out small, and let me tell you what the fucking white nationalists did to us. And then they've just been growing and growing and growing after that. And even as of last year with the LGBT parade, it's been taken over by another organization. And I stepped down after my first year because of the death threats that I received from a white nationalist. But even still,
I guarantee they watch lesbian porn. Like guarantee they watch lesbian porn.
These people are literally the bane of my existence, and their children are the worst because they're literally. Excuse me for saying this, but they're literally 3-year-olds running around saying "fuck that nigger," and it fucking kills me. Yeah. I just a couple of weeks ago I was in Walmart and I overheard a child talking about to his mother, asking him why that nigger is standing over there, and he was just a fucking toddler still in diapers. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my fucking God.
Because everything is taught. Like you guys are saying, it is taught and inbred into us. I mean, I have my white mom and I have my black dad. Clearly there's something going on there because I mean, you guys have been married for over 20 years, but my dad doesn't understand why me and my siblings, he'll say something ignorant. And we all look at him like, are you serious right now? You do realize that you are married to a white woman and you are talking about white people as a whole. They're not all bad. Just like a little over a year ago, my brother was killed by a police officer. I don't walk around, don't get me wrong. I understand the concept, fuck 12, fuck the police. I do. But I will never stand there and tell you that I hate all cops. I know for a fact that it's not all cops. I don't necessarily even blame that cop that killed my brother. I just want to know the story. I want to know the truth. That's it. I will never hear my brother's side. So I want to know what really happened. But at the end of the day, it's like it's all washed into us. We're brainwashed to believe these things or think this way. And whether or not we recognize it or not, it's there to where we crack jokes that are racist jokes, but it's funny, ha ha. And the fact is that we shouldn't even be doing it. Like I crack jokes on myself all day about how, about my white side or my black side, but I've done it to desensitize myself so that nobody can do it to me and it actually hurt. And that's the problem. I shouldn't have ever had to do that. I shouldn't have ever had to sit here and say, these white kids picked on me so much growing up because I was too black. These black kids picked on me so much growing up because I was too white, that now I have to create this barrier to keep it from hurting me when you say anything. We shouldn't be saying this shit, period, but it's normal for us.
Yeah.
It's what we were raised to do. We heard it everywhere we turn. You hear it on TV all the time. It's constantly in front of us, whether we acknowledge it or not.
Ace, you've actually made a good point there, and I'm actually going to expound on that just a little bit. I did share to Just FK's Facebook page a study done with monkeys, and basically the entire study done with monkeys was to understand the human psyche. And what they had done is they took a ladder and they put some bananas on top of the ladder. And whenever a monkey, they put 5 monkeys in this room. Whenever one of them would go up the ladder to get the bananas, they would spray the rest of the monkeys with cold water. Okay. Well, eventually the monkeys started to beat each other. Whoever would go up the ladder to get the bananas. Okay. They policed themselves. And then they started pulling one monkey out and they put another one in, and he would go up the ladder to get some bananas. So the other monkeys would beat the shit out of him and keep him down. Well, then they would take more monkeys out that were original test subjects and put all new monkeys in to the test room. And each monkey that would try to go up the ladder, the other monkeys would beat the shit out of. So no monkeys would actually reach for that fucking banana. They stopped spraying with cold water, but they didn't know that. They just continuously policed themselves and taught, it was literally just taught behavior not to grab the banana on top of the ladder. And this is what I feel like has been done with the Black community. You've been taught not to overreach, not to grasp for anything because it's wrong. Not because it is wrong, but because other Black people were held down and forced not to overreach. And that's been taught down the line. That systemic racism was ingrained into the Black community generations ago.
And you know what? The fact that you said that is epic. We were talking a couple of days ago about the crab barrel effect. If you ever pay attention to the fishermen that catch crabs, they never put a lid on their containers because the crabs don't get out. The minute one starts to try and get up, they constantly pulling each other down. And that is what we do in the Black community. It's like, oh, you want to do what? You want to be better? How? And we try and we pull them back. And then when the few that make it out and become successful, and I'm not saying it's all of them, but it is known that they'll get out and they'll get successful. And then it becomes, now, where the fuck were y'all when I was trying to get out? You guys were saying, nope, you can't leave us, but you want me to stand here and give you handouts now? I'm not down with it. Now, don't get me wrong. There are ones that do go back and they put into their communities. It's just attesting to the St. Louis area. I know for a fact Cedric the Entertainer comes back and puts into the community. I know for a fact that Nelly comes back and puts into the community, but not all of them do that. Not all of them come back and give back, because while they were in that community, we were the crabs pulling them down, saying, no, you can't do better than us. No, we're not allowed out of this cage.
Yeah, and then some of them, I've noticed if they do start doing better, they're claimed for overreaching because and they're too white now. They've lost who they are, or something like that.
Yep.
And that's one thing I've noticed. It's labeling or trying to whitewash somebody from the Black community, and that pisses me off because they educate, so they're too white now.
Bands actually made a comment. He said it's like how we have our soul food. That food was the scraps our ancestors were thrown, and now it's a staple of what we eat. It's actually a little bit more than that. Do you know why there's actually so many lobster dishes? Is because that was considered slave food because it was so readily available. Well, you guys took that and you made it into something amazing. And then white people were like, oh, this shit hits different. And they took that and now it's rich people food.
Yeah.
Like, there's...
Yeah, like a lot of even when the slaves were given food to eat and stuff like that, they were allotted a certain amount of ground to grow their own personal food so the masters wouldn't have to feed them. And they were given the shitty ends of the deals, collard greens, mustard greens, things that were deemed...
God, I love those.
So do I. But were only deemed, enough for animals to eat. Like I said, you were treated like cattle. So now that food is hardcore ingrained in your culture, but it's some of the best fucking food there is.
Let me tell you, okay, I'm just going to say some shit right now. Okay, if any of you have ever been to a Church's Chicken, or
Church's is awful.
I love Church's Chicken.
I hate fried food.
I love Church's
soul
Chicken,
food, but I hate fried food.
I love Church's Chicken. Like, my wife makes chicken gizzards and chicken hearts. God, I love that shit. Like, that is amazing. I love it.
I know. I agree with you, man. The history is really fucked up. It is.
You're going to find a lot of shit in history. And history repeats itself. but it doesn't have to. The only way for history not to repeat itself is to educate ourselves. Okay, that's why I'm such a big proponent of education. That's why I believe every adult should continuously expound upon themselves after school. Never stop learning. Okay, never stop improving on yourself. Read a book. Shit, I read probably 4 or 5 books on just basic human psychology a month because that's something I need to do. I need to learn more. I need to learn something. I watch videos on how to do just basic shit. Learn. That's how history stops repeating itself, is by education. It's through education that we make change. Okay? Like that's why inner city schools are so defunded. Like, why would you defund a school that needs more money? No other reason than to keep them down, to force them into that hole.
Because they're in the red line districts. And people may not know what a red line district is. So
Actually, I don't know what a red light district is, so please educate me.
Okay, so back in the day when they were drawing property lines and stuff like that and building up desired neighborhoods, they outlined in red areas where they pushed the Black and the minority community into.
Okay.
And they didn't allow for growth or development to be used there because it was desired, undesirable land, basically. So they had red line districts and they would put the poor schools in the red line districts and stuff like that and keep it severely underfunded because property values were so low because there was really nothing to fund. There was nothing that was desired to be built there.
Same thing as reservations.
Exactly.
Guys, I'm
tired. And this
tired.
happens with every single minority community that's there. It's literally, that is where the systemic racism before. It's actually, I used to not believe when I was growing up in systemic racism. You know, I thought, this is America. Everyone is the same. They're all given equal opportunities. And it wasn't until my early 20s that I realized that no, they weren't. And this is why.
Ace, loved having you on. Next time, really, like, just tell us to shut the fuck up and talk. Like, that's how we roll. All right. But we did appreciate having you on.
Fuck yeah. We love you, girl. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon and enjoy your conference call.
Your life has value. Please never forget that. We hope to have you on again. Probably next Tuesday. Yeah. Maybe even Thursday. I don't know. I'd like to have my brother call in because he's... my brother and I don't agree on a lot of things. Hardly ever. We have very opposing views. And because we're siblings, we know which buttons to push just to piss each other off. I might have broken my brother's jaw and his arm. My brother might have hurt me in response. We are definitely brothers. He's also one of the most intelligent people I've ever fucking met.
So, your brother's putz.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, my brother's an asshole. But you know what? He's my fucking brother. And let me tell you, if I ever needed anything, that's the guy I would fucking call.
We need to
before anyone.
We need to do that with literally all of us. All right, so I actually have a plan, and I hope that it kind of gets picked up, just for my own ego here, because I think it's a pretty.
I'll stroke your ego.
No, it's a plan to end the system, systemic racism and all of that, and to lift all of the minority communities up. And it starts with the education plan that I spoke about a little bit. For those who are literally just tuning in, there's been a few. I received an email earlier in the podcast from a group that I've been working with and doing things with that we're working with a lawyer down in Little Rock to take it to the national level to rewrite the school system essentially, and instead of having money, property values, funding, it literally goes into a giant national fund which gets equally distributed to the states and then equally distributed to every single school. So every single school based on how many children there that are at that school will be funded accordingly, and not just based on the community property value. So you're not going to have the overfunded schools, the heavily underfunded schools, and just mediocre schools. Every school will have the same platform and the same funding, and teachers across the board will have the same funding.
The fucking testing shit. Like, that was some of the biggest bullshit I've ever had to live through, is that fucking those tests.
Yeah.
Or that, like, are you doing good in school? Let's test you.
Yeah,
so
so-
my fucking teacher can get a bonus.
And that is really, that whole testing thing, that is not fair to the students where English isn't their first language. No, it's not. Or to the severely underfunded schools and the underfunded teachers, because that's not fair to them. But if all teachers, so if this plan ever makes national attention, and we're hoping that it does, please, for the love of God, vote it into law, because this is where your vote actually does count. It doesn't count towards the president, but it counts for matters like this. So if that one ever makes national attention, fuck yeah, let's do it, because right now we've got a lawyer writing it. So, and that starts with education, but it starts with removing the red line districts.
And that No Child Left Behind law.
Yeah.
Guys,
And when
It makes
removing the red line district, and this is something that even in the Black community, you guys are going to have to learn to accept, is you will have white people moving into your community. You will have renovations happening in community, but that is
get Big Mama.
no,
Have her bake them a
no,
pie.
seriously, that is something that we all, as one nation.
Fuck yeah, and the no-knock warrants too. Fuck yes. All right, sorry, like that.
I'm just cut off here.
Yeah. No, that shit.
Anyway,
no, fuck that.
It comes in. This is where
Right.
you're probably going to have clash with the heavy gay community, but them motherfuckers can renovate, and they come in and they make a neighborhood beautiful, and they beautify a lot of fucking shit. But
Never join a HOA.
no, by ending the red line districts and all of that, it actually gives banks a legit reason to come in and start renovating these neighborhoods and to make it better. Yes, your property values will go up. Yes, rent may go up, and that is hard for the living.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't, but it's going to happen, and it makes it hard for the people living in that community. And that is where our government does come in with subsidies. And
I don't believe in subsidies.
I don't either.
I
but
think
we
that,
live
honest to
on
God,
subsidies
American,
now.
like the minimum
the
wage.
majority of government.
I know
and the
we're
fucking
talking
minimum
over
wage.
each other, but we're totally saying the same thing. Like,
No,
like
fucking in the minimum wage. Like,
we talk like two
seriously.
black men. You realize that? Like, we just continue to talk to
I
each
don't
other.
No, okay, that's also a thing. Working with the minimum wage. The minimum wage is, what is it, $7.25 still federally?
I think at the federal level, it's $8. I think it's closer to $8.
I think it's still $7.25. But I think the majority of our
$7.25.
Yeah.
Well, I was wrong.
It is exactly fight poverty. Yeah, not the poor.
Look, I said it.
And it goes, and this is where I'm going to kind of sound a little bit of a socialist here, even though I speak against the socialist movement. By making it mandatory and holding actual corporations accountable for that pay, we're going to be closing that poverty gap, which is going to be closing the market gap, which is something that needs to happen.
Look, this, and you guys can verify this.
So this is like the 80-year plan here.
No, we can't. We can't take 80 years to do that.
No, that's
This
the thing.
needs to
Change. It needs to happen. It needs to happen. Yes, but for change to happen, it's going to take a really long time.
Fuck, look at
I
2020. We're
know
6 months in. There's all kinds of fucking changes
Yeah, no,
because we have to do them.
we have, yes, but for the better overall, you can't just snap your fingers and have the instant gratification. You're going to have to legitimately work together with all of the communities to make things better for not only our minorities but our white people too. Like, welcome back. You know,
But-
so definitely fighting that minimum wage and then taking out a lot of these corporate laws that are put into place that protects corporations where they don't pay taxes or they get these huge tax brackets because they create jobs, and ending the NAFTA.
Okay, look, I just need to make a couple of points here. First of all, no knock warrants are bullshit. It's just a way to break into somebody's house and steal shit and kill them. Second of all, America as a whole, okay, this is 99% of the people in America. That 1% doesn't count in this shit. Okay, 99% of the people in America, that's middle class, the poor class, like every class except for the 1%, have lost 90% of their buying power in the last 70 years. Okay, it's actually a little bit less than that, but 70
That's
years.
due because expanding red line districts and the colleges are taught as a corporation now, even though the majority of colleges are government funded.
Even
believe this or not, guys, but even Harvard gets the majority of the funding from government institution. Like, that's something that's not known by a lot of people, but they're taking private corporations and throwing government funding into it. And that is something that needs to stop.
Yeah,
Period.
it is. Look,
and that's the only way to hold the major colleges accountable, the major corporations accountable, is cut off that government funding and actually put it back into
there's
the citizens.
no reason for college to cost as much as it does.
No, fuck no, there's not.
No reason. Okay. No, there is a reason. The reason is the only people that are allowed to go to college are the insanely smart who get their little, like, oh, you free pass, everybody gets a free pass, quote unquote. And to make sure that power stays with the people who have power. That's it. That's why college costs so much, because after that, if you're a poor person like myself, like, the only reason my brother went to an Ivy League college is because I dropped out of college that I was going to locally and got a job to help support him while he was going through college. That's the only reason he was able to actually make it. All right. Because the family got together, an entire fucking family, my grandparents, my mom, my uncle,
Most people
myself.
don't have that, though.
Right. They don't have that. I have a very loving family. We may disagree on political topics, but that doesn't fucking matter to us. What matters to us is that we love each other. That's it. That's all we need. We need each other. Okay. Opposing views, that's part of life. I've learned that. It's a part of life. You're not going to agree with everybody 100% of the time. It's never going to happen. You're not going to agree with one person 100% of the time. Me and Floyd don't agree on a lot of shit.
Yeah.
We're still friends. We're still able to talk and have a conversation. Okay. And she has convinced me of some shit, just like I've convinced her of some shit. All right. We're able to talk, to understand each other. Yeah. Opinions are like assholes, and everybody does have one. Like,
now, okay, so there are more plans to this 80-year plan to make everything.
Expound upon. I'm sorry, I had that.
Okay, so with holding corporations accountable and having, as Mouth of the South said, a Fair Wage Act, completely taken that, and it's not even necessarily 15 an hour, but to raise that minimum wage up where everybody has an equal start, and actually holding the corporations kind of, so when the insurance thing took hold in the Obama era, right? The majority of corporations got together to buck that system because they didn't want to have to provide insurance. So the way they got around that law was cutting everybody down to part-time, working them under.
Hell, we're there. Like,
Yeah.
I'm there. I work 37.
You're now giving insurance, but you don't have that full-time status.
The company doesn't pay for my insurance. I have to pay for my insurance.
Well,
they just provide it.
No. You pay for your insurance. They also pay a small subsidy to insurance as well.
Very small.
Very small. But
I work 37 and a half hours, quote unquote, a week. And I'm 30 minutes away from being full-time. I want you guys to understand that I've worked for this job for 8 fucking years almost. Okay. I'm literally coming up on my 8th year. I make just as much as anybody else at the company. Okay. But I'm half an hour away from being provided vacation time, PTO, and fucking insurance.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
and see, that's the thing. This is on the podcast last time. I need to reiterate on this a little bit. I said there is literally nothing worth living in life anymore. There's no point to it. And I say that there's no benefit to it either. I say that because of what these corporations are doing and what we as American people are allowing these corporations to do. We're driving our mom and pop businesses out. We are literally, and this is happening in the minority communities as well. And instead of supporting that small mom and pop business or the small entrepreneur, you guys would rather shop Target or shop shop alt Walmart or any of the major corporations because you're saving 50 cents or because you're saving $1. And that has got to stop. And that's the only way we are really going to tackle systemic racism, if we stop providing money to these corporations that are oppressing us.
Hold up. I got to make a comment. What is that? Georgie? Whatever. My average is actually closer to 100 hours a week throughout the year, but because on paper, closer to 100 hours a week is my average. But because I'm considered 37 and a half hours officially, I don't get any of the benefits.
Yeah. So basically what happens with our work, me and him do the same thing. You are given a specific thing to look after, and on paper you have so many hours. So if you work outside of that, which you do most often, and they will call you to work outside of that, to work in other districts in what we're doing, it doesn't count, and our state laws don't protect that. We have no protections in our things. They could work us literally a week straight with never being home.
I worked 3 months for 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
No weekends off, 3 months, 24/7. Okay.
And we're never paid
and
overtime.
I wasn't paid any kind of overtime. It was straight time.
Yeah.
Because it was considered a different district, therefore a different job.
Yeah.
Same company.
Same hours, but on paper, your hours are different than what you're actually put it in. Therefore, you're not paid time and a half. So that's how they skirt certain things. And that's how a lot of people, oh no, you can do. You within our company, yeah, that's absolutely 100% legal. Yeah.
Yep.
It is legal. It's legal to work straight through.
How do I work 24 hours a day?
Oh, and by the way, and how they get around, because there was a few years ago a law passed saying that medical workers cannot work 24-hour shift beyond 24-hour shifts anymore. No, it is possible because they give you a place to sleep, but the way they get around that,
doesn't matter. Like anytime, any part of the day, you have to wake up and handle shit.
Yeah.
If something happens, but they do give you a place to sleep.
No, it's a hard job. It definitely is a hard job. Now, there are a few of you know what I do, but I'm not going to go deeper into what I do.
Violate any type of laws.
But they treat the medical community like shit, and how they skirt that working over 24-hour law is they make you take downtime and where you're not getting paid at all.
Yep.
But you're still required to be at work, but you're not getting paid for it.
Yep.
So
oh God.
If we literally stop that behavior and stop allowing corporations to do that to us, and that's why I speak so heavily, about corporation involvement, especially in our laws.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, as Mouth of the South said, you have to stay because you're liable if they get hurt. Yeah, you absolutely do.
Oh, absolutely. One of the most charitable fucking companies I've ever worked for. Look, I don't stay because of my bosses or
I stay
the
because
CEO
of the
or the
people
company.
That I work with.
I stay because of the people I work with. I love my job in the sense that I love what I do because it gives me a reason to think that there's still good in the world. And
because somebody is always going to need to be taken care of.
And not everybody can do this job.
No.
Not everybody can
it takes somebody who's very patient to do what we do.
Yeah, it really does. And I'm pissed right now.
Yeah. Anyways, so stop allowing the corporations to abuse the workers because essentially you guys are being treated. We're all being treated
As
like
customers,
cattle.
stop abusing the workers.
Seriously, fuck you, Karen. Seriously, like they don't make enough money to put up with your bullshit to yell
They
at
make
them
minimum wage
for
and
something
you're
that is
yelling at
out
them.
of their control. You know, you want them to get a better education, but yet you're not helping to change the laws to provide that better education. You know, even senior citizens, they have to work literally until the day they die because you've allowed these corporations to come in and rape the workers. And what I mean by that is you've taken away their 401k, you've taken away any kind of retirement plans, they've taken away unions, they've taken away all employee rights.
Hold on, I'm actually going to make another one here. For those of you who work in old homes, you probably do know this, but if those people owned a house, that house gets signed over to the company. If they had 401ks, that gets signed over to the company. If they had any kind of property at all and didn't give it to their family before going into that home, it's signed over. The majority of the time, some of them are different, but the majority of the time it's signed over to the company. Why? Because that's the company's now. That's what their compensation is for taking care of them. Okay? Like,
yeah,
that's bullshit.
And it's given to literally the government. The family no longer has it because the government steps in. And so they're literally raping the family of any kind of inheritance of all money. They won't allow the elderly to even save money anymore.
It costs less to have in-home care for the elderly than it does for them to go into a home. I want you guys to understand that. It costs less to have somebody go to your home and take care of them than it does for them to go into an old home.
And they'll probably receive a better care because it'll be one-on-one
care. It will be better care. And I can guarantee you the government won't do it because then they will lose access to all the properties that they gained through death.
Yeah. Exactly. And God, the fucking...
I'm getting pissed off at this now.
Even the inheritance tax and stuff like that, you know, say your parents die, if they don't sign that piece of property over to you, you know, before 5 years, you know, before their death,
that's why me and my
brother
can
come in and take that property. They can tax that property. They can put a lien on that property to the point where you cannot live in that property. Like, 7 years, not 5 years anymore. 7 years.
That's why me and my brother have owned my grandparents and my mother's property for years now. Like,
you know,
literally, like the last 8 years.
Fucked up. You know, it's absolutely fucked up that as American citizens, you guys are allowing this type of treatment so you can have a better false sense of security for yourselves. You know, and this hurts our minority community because they don't have much to begin with, and then they're literally stripping everything away. Exactly.
Look, guys, we had a fucking war over 2% tax. Okay, we literally told the largest nation in the world to go fuck themselves, and then we used pitchforks and axes to do the fucking. All right, like,
you know, and this is one thing.
See you, Project America. Thanks for signing on and listening. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and share to the Facebook page, Just FK.
It's at Morning Coffee with Just FK.
It'll have a picture of Chris Farley.
Yeah, and this is a fucked up thing because as Republicans and stuff like that, they're all fighting for less laws and stuff like that, but these guys are the ones that literally installed these laws. So it's literally
both parties installed laws.
It's false. No. The laws that I'm specifically talking about were put in the Reagan era.
Look, all I'm saying, both parties. Okay, guys, step away from the two-party system. Stop electing Democrats and Republicans. It's not Democrats versus Republicans. It's Democrats and Republicans versus you.
Yeah. You're allowing governments, you're allowing corporations. Like, even if you're independent, you're a freaking minority in that independence because people are so fucking brainwashed to believe that only Republicans or Democrats work.
No, as a matter of fact, the two-party system was made to control the presidency. Okay. And I'm also a believer that if voting changed anything, they wouldn't let you do it. That's just personally my point of view, because I don't think that the government would let you elect someone to have control over a country. I don't think that's how it works anymore. I think originally that's how it worked. I don't think that we've had an actual president that we've elected for the last, I don't know, 100 years.
Yeah.
But that's just personally me saying that I have no faith in the government. I have zero faith in the government. I have more faith that the sea will fucking wash away into outer space than I do my own fucking government. Okay? Like, I have more faith that I will eventually see actual equality than I do in my government.
Yeah. All right. So another part of the plan that we're getting on. So taking away corporation voting laws that was established. I lost my train of thought there for a second. God, I coughed and it was like boom.
Sorry, this is something I'm so very pissed off about. I'm very passionate. Okay.
We're both very passionate. All right. So we have to take federal government power away. What it means.
I agree.
The Supreme Court's the complete federal government power. You have to take that away because you need to put it back into the state's hands. And the state has very little power nowadays because it's all federally controlled. And you have to put it back in the community hands. And
the community very rarely fails.
No, because the community is going to know what's best and how to lift up their community. Mm-hmm. Like, federally, you can't look at, say, oh, this is right for Chicago, so this must be right for Harrison, Arkansas, too. You can't do that because every community is going to have difference. They're going to have their strengths. They're going to have their weaknesses, but you can't blindly police them. All right. Now, the other thing, the taking away police power, taking away the complete militarization of police power. And that one is coming up really quickly and probably going to come up quicker than the education change too. But completely taking them away. Police have way too much ability with the no-knock warrants, with warrants in general. That allows people who, even if you're not living at that residence, if they suspect you were living at that residence, they could violate your human rights because they suspect something that is not really truly proven, just a hunch of somebody with loose evidence.
Okay, hold on. I actually have to mention something real quick. 1 second. Let me get over to my chair. Okay, so there's an issue right now going on where if you are traveling with a large amount of money, let's say you just sold your house, okay, like you literally just left 5 minutes ago, you sold your house, you got a nice little check with you that you're going to turn into the bank. If the cops pull you over and you have that check, your money can be held by the authorities because you can't prove that it wasn't going to be used for something that's illegal.
If it's cash.
Check.
It's not check because the check can be traced that, you just sold your property, you're going somewhere. Now,
cash anyway. Yeah. Cash, check, it doesn't matter. Okay, they can take your shit.
If it's cash, there's all the old people, hide cash in the mattress, keep cash around, all of that. I don't believe that because cash right now is your enemy because police not only can they hold that, they can plunder that and they can destroy it. They don't ever have to check that in as evidence because it is cash.
Yep.
So
okay, well, still, like if you have that check, you cash it at any point in time, they can take it.
Yeah.
All right. Just guys, there's so much oversight on the American populace and none on the police officers.
Yeah. Now, the American people need to install an outside party that is unbiased to police the FBI, the DEA, the American police, all of our police forces. There needs to be an internal service because
no internal service. Public service.
No, there needs to be that because all of the internal services and stuff like that are extremely biased. You're asking the police to police themselves, so you're asking them to investigate themselves to cover up more of their crimes and learn how to cover up their crimes better.
It's like
That is
asking-
exactly what's going on.
It's like asking a grade schooler to grade their own fucking test
Yeah.
and trusting them to do it. Yeah, and I do believe forced body cams.
It holds no accountability whatsoever.
Honestly, if a cop has a body cam and arrests somebody and doesn't have that shit on, that person should immediately be set free. There's no proof.
Yeah.
It's just that cop's word against them. No proof.
And we all know how word of mouth goes. You know, that's how they were literally blaming one singular man of the
I think
race
we're
of an
already
entire
there.
state.
I think we're already at a police state.
Oh, yeah, we fucking are. We're not heading towards a police state. We are
We've
heading in
been
a
there.
police state. Okay, if you go to Massachusetts right now, and if your child gets in trouble for saying shit in school, do you realize that DHS can come in and take your child for, improper parenting? That's an actual term in Massachusetts right now, improper parenting for your child cussing in school. Like, think about that for a minute. We all know how youth is. We know the issues that they come with. All of our children cuss. It's stupid to think that they don't. I've heard 2-year-olds cuss. I've heard parents
All
cuss.
teenagers masturbate. It's going to happen.
Exactly. Now, you're going to allow a state to step in and sever your parental rights because your child said an improper word in a public place. Like, think about that for a second. If this is not a police state, that shit wouldn't happen. But it is. And it's been a police state because Americans are freely lining up in drones to give away their rights for false sense of security, because that is what our past presidencies have pushed for and have advocated for.
If you sacrifice your liberty for the illusion of safety, you will get neither, or you'll get neither and deserve. What was it he said? It was something along those lines, but you shouldn't sacrifice your liberty for safety at any point in time. Your liberty is your safety. Your ability to do what you want freely, that's your safety. Okay? If you want to go out and buy a gun, and if you've never bought a gun, fucking talk to me. I'll help you buy the motherfucker. I will teach you how to use it. Okay? I will go through every kind of gun safety and I've been raised around guns since I was fucking born. All right? I know what I'm doing. But if you need help with that, I'm an avid proponent for gun ownership, but proper gun ownership. Okay, I need to say that.
So my children are trained on guns. Absolutely. We have guns in our home. Our kids have routinely shot the said gun. They know about gun safety. You can absolutely train an entire fucking family on guns, and it's important for gun ownership because it is important for you to be able to stand up for what is violating your rights as a human, what is violating your safety as a human. And right now, that is the police and that is our government. We are living in a fascist, oppressive government, and a dictatorship is that. And that is truth. We are no longer a free fucking country. So right now, every single fucking American needs to get their head out of the sand and actually stand up against their government and stop being so goddamn complacent. Because that's exactly what you are. We're treated like cattle for so fucking long and deemed everybody who thought differently to be radical, to be demonized because they had a different vision of what freedom is.
It is across the world. Yeah. Look, I've said for years, literally years, that we need to pull all of our military, all the military from across the world, all that shit. We don't need to be having our finger in everybody else's fucking pie. Bring them home. Let's fix our shit before we start telling other people how to fix their shit. Okay? Because we don't have our shit straight. We don't even have it in the same fucking space. All right? We need to get all our shit, all of it, every bit of shit that we have all together, put it in one fucking place, and then look at it and go, okay, I can see that shit's fucked up. Maybe we should do something about that. Right. What do? Start the conversation. That's what we're trying to do. Sorry, guys. I'm getting a little
heated.
We can't afford to keep this up. We are indebted to everyone simply because of who we are.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We started the American Revolution with the idea that we were going to be a free people. To give us your huddled, your masses, your abused, give them all.
You're homeless.
We'll take them. Okay, that was our
Ellis Island
mission statement.
That is literally what is put up in bronze on Ellis Island. Like, that is our country fucking motto. Whether you guys want to believe it or not, we are a country of immigrants. We are a country that formed open borders. We may have stole this land, yes, but now it is our job as the fucking American people to keep the land free and to completely welcome the immigrants, because that is what our nation is built on. It is literally built on the complete backs of every fucking minority in this country.
This country was built on immigrants. Ellis Island is the island outside of New York. This is statue.
It is literally, it's Statue of Liberty. It is the gates to the country. That is where everyone got off the boat
to come into the United States during World War II.
No, before that.
Right.
Before that. Way before that.
The Jews came during World War II. The World War I.
The Irish came, during the Irish Depression.
Yes.
Literally, Ellis Island started in the early 1800s. I'm not sure of the dates and everything. K Goodwin, I'm sure he can give me a fucking date on this stuff.
Yes.
But the important part of that is, it is Ellis Island is literally the gateway to this country. It is a symbol of the gateway to this country.
Maybe your teacher has a better idea of what's headed for this country.
I've never read a paper you've ever written, so.
Do you want to join the call?
Yeah, go ahead.
I know you have a lot of historical shit to put onto this, but in our very limited,
and it's what we're talking about. What is written in the bronze pull up is called the New Colossus, and that is essentially our country's motto.
The Statue of Liberty was actually gifted to us by France.
Yeah.
Okay. And we did accept a lot of French people. We accepted everybody.
And France owned a large amount of our country.
They did. We bought, 40 cents an acre from Napoleon, the entire Louisiana Purchase.
Yeah.
It was like 40 cents an acre or some shit like that. But we bought the majority of our country from France, for those of you who don't know. I don't know how this fucking channel devolved into us being like historical, some historical shit, but I don't know. Maybe that's good for people. I think so.
I don't know much about the Georgia Guidestones. I'm more on the political side of things.
I don't know anything about the Georgia's Guidestones. I'll have to look that up. One second, let me get a picture of that.
Yeah, what they did to the natives of this country, which are essentially the Latinos today. What they're doing to them is not right. They're keeping them in concentration camps on American soil. And that's really fucked up, because as an American free country, supposedly free, we have concentration camps. Think about that. We literally have concentration camps in our backyards.
What, you mean what we did to the Japanese?
Or what Hitler did to the Jews or the minorities of his country because of all of the mom and pop businesses, and he was in favor of the corporations. It's literally, we are fucking Nazi Germany nowadays.
All right, I took a picture
and we fought against that. We fought against that fascism. And yet we are living it. How the fuck does that make you feel?
I feel like America's been compromised.
Absolutely.
I took a picture of your comment about the Georgia Guidestones. I will be looking into that. Maybe not tonight or tomorrow, but I will get around to it. You can actually
$18 per square mile on the Louisiana Purchase.
Yes, $18 per square mile. It's like 40 cents an acre, some shit like that.
I don't think
or 7 cents. Was it 7 cents? It was cheap as shit. That's what it was. So anyway, I will look into the Georgia Guidestones and educate myself on them, and I will give an honest to God opinion about it. When I do that, I will post it on the Just FK page on Facebook. Guys, I'm tired. My cup is empty. I've been pouring myself into this for a very long time. If you actually go back and look at the dates on our podcast, I actually started talking about police brutality about a week before George Floyd died. And it was for no other reason than I thought that, maybe if I started something, if I started talking about it, we'd be able to affect change. And then that happened. It was very coincidental, but I've been watching police brutality videos for several weeks now.
Yeah, and they're arresting the people speaking out against this. Like, with our last few videos, I fully expect a knock on my door. Like, seriously, because the people that are speaking out against the brutality, the people that are speaking out against our government, they are deemed terrorists. And people fucking believe them because their government said so.
Okay, look, I've said ICP was considered a terrorist group. Okay?
Like, I'm now considered a terrorist organization. My people are considered a terrorist organization. Corey is considered a terrorist organization. Your children, if you speak out against anything that is going on, you are considered a terrorist organization.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead.
Somebody wants to jump on the call.
Yep. Oh, no. DDD, we lost you.
No. If you want to call back, go ahead.
Yep. I'm ready to answer. I had my head down and leaning it on my chair because I am exhausted. I'm tired.
I absolutely believe. I absolutely believe that it's been staged. DDDD says, "Do you think that could have been staged?" Absolutely.
I would not put it past our government to do some shit to cause civil unrest. I wouldn't put it past them. Okay. Like, they knew that 9/11 was going to happen like a year before it fucking happened, and they let it happen.
Harbor was going to happen.
They let it happen.
Mm-hmm. The government goes to extremes when they're trying to pass laws, and people haven't been smart enough to realize it yet because the wool is still pulled over. And right now, the government has declared war on its citizens.
Let me put it out there, okay? I'm just gonna make this statement, okay? If you consider anybody to be paranoid, it's not paranoid if it's true, okay?
Exactly.
If they are looking at you and they're looking to take over, it's not a Coke. It's a hideaway.
I was actually gonna see if I could drink this.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's my hideaway bottle. That's what I stash cash in when it's fixed. Yeah, have a Pepsi.
All right.
I truly 100% believe that if the government thought they could take advantage of the people by staging something, they absolutely would. Like, let's take a look at the bricks that are being delivered to the protests.
Okay.
Black people are literally like videotaping this shit going, that's fucking staged. They're trying to get you. It's a trick. Admiral Akbar, it's a fucking trap. Okay? Like, walk away. Don't throw bricks. Don't throw bricks. You don't know.
They want your violence so they can pass more laws to take away more of your civil liberties. That is
There's
exactly
so much video.
They're counting on that violence.
There's so much video right now. They've actually got video of cops breaking shit and causing civil unrest. They're causing civil unrest. They're not, what's it called? When you de-escalate. Yeah, they're not de-escalating. They are escalating a situation every time. When you come into contact with the cops as protesters, the cops do not de-escalate the situation. They escalate it and escalate it and escalate it. So far, the people have remained peaceful. I want to put this there, and I don't think that's why I'm not going to a protest. I can get very angry very quickly, and I don't know if I'd be able to control myself in that kind of situation. And I say that they don't want peaceful. I say that I would be angry in that situation because it's true. That's why I'm going to work. I'm not going to go to the protests because I know I would do shit that I wouldn't be able to take back. For the simple fact that it is not all cops that are bad. There's a few bad apples in it. I'm sure you guys have heard the New York police chatter going on about the Black Lives Movement. One cop called in and said that there was protesters in the road. Another cop responded, well, just run the motherfuckers over. Shoot them.
Yeah.
Another cop said, don't put that over the air. And then the radio cut out. Guys.
Hold them accountable.
There's so much video right now. Like I say there's no way that the cops are going to be able to get away with this, but I guarantee you they'll be like, oh, well, these people caused this shit. And then they'll cause the media to be like, oh, Black Lives Matter movement caused so unrest across the world. And next thing you know, that there's new laws coming on the books that you can't protest, period. You got to keep your mouth shut. Otherwise, you're a terrorist. And now you go to jail.
Don't you think it was rather interesting that Antifa was, was it 2 weeks ago before this movement started, deemed a terrorist organization, even though they're not an organization? Seriously.
ICP is not an organization. It's a music group.
Yeah.
But they're terrorists too.
Before all this started, literally before, Antifa, the ones that literally are standing up for us and the American citizens, yeah, we're a bunch of fucking anarchists. The ones actually trying to make a change and hold the government accountable, hold political offices accountable, are deemed a terrorist organization. That is your voices being squashed.
That's how angry I am.
Yeah.
You can feel that.
Yeah.
I'm so hot, I'm literally burning up. Like my feet are hot.
Like, and the media is going to portray it another way. It always fucking does. And I'm not some conspiracy. I'm a 34-year-old
hold on.
mom.
Like I said.
I see what's going on because I'm in the front lines of all of this. I don't really think I need a holiday. Everybody needs a holiday.
Everybody needs a fucking holiday. I need to be taking a vacation.
And they lie about
everything. Okay, everything. All right. The only reason why those 4 cops got charges because there was literal video of them killing George Floyd in front of people. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's only a conspiracy if it's not true.
I'm chill. Trust me. I'm chill.
I'm not. I need a vacation.
No, I'm totally chilled. I see you.
By the way,
that is what I'm saying. I see you. I see everything that's happening. I see everything that they're doing. I have knowledge that other people don't, but I fucking see you, and you are going to be held accountable. Like, simply.
I am very soon going to be taking a vacation, so we will not have a podcast through one of the weeks of either this month or next month. But I'm taking a vacation. Me and my wife are getting the fuck out of this town. We're going to go somewhere. We're going to go we don't know where the fuck we're going to go, but we're going to go somewhere. I think Pennsylvania. Like, guys, I'd like to say that I don't know what the fuck is happening, but I see it so clearly that it's scary.
Yeah. And there are so many complacent people because they live in an okay home. They have an okay job that they drive to daily. They don't see everything that happens to the neighbors around them. They can only see what they live in their life. So to them, it never happens. And that is the most hard thing to come to the realization.
That's the same thing that happened to the fucking Jews. They came after the social workers.
See the concentration camps that are in our fucking country just alone. See how they're treating the minorities in our community just alone. And realize that outside of your bubble, it's not peace and fucking quiet. There is a real world that is at war because the government is oppressing every single fucking person and pulling the wool over their eyes for the top 1% that literally controls this country. You realize there's a fucking meeting every few years. Literally, what is it?
The 13 richest families that come together and dictate what's going to happen for the next 8 years in the world. Yeah, you know that thing that's a conspiracy, quote unquote.
Just do your own fucking research. Don't look at the major news people that are literally controlling all of the media. There are 2 major corporations that are controlling all of the media that you see on TV.
Coke,
all of
Pepsi,
the entertainment,
owned by the same company. Walmart, Coke, Pepsi, owned by the same fucking company. Johnson & Johnson and Coke and Pepsi and Walmart, owned by the same fucking company. All of them, at Target, Walmart, all of them are owned by the same fucking family. Okay?
So, anyway.
You want to get into some shit? Look up what companies own what companies and in a list, and you will see 2 major organizations all owned by one fucking family.
Okay, so keep that in mind.
Bilderberg Group. Thank you, Mr. Goodwin. God, I love that man.
The meetings, Bilderberg Group. Okay, anyways, I'm coming at a close with this podcast today because I'm done.
I'm ragged.
Yeah, people. It may seem like a conspiracy. I may seem like a fucking conspiracy nut to a lot, but it's actually happening.
It's not a conspiracy if it's true.
I'm not fucking crazy. He's not crazy. This shit is legit
hold
happening
on.
all over the fucking world.
We are crazy, therefore we're not crazy.
No. Anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And remember, it is our job to lift all minorities up in our community because we are only as strong as our weakest chain. And if we are not together, we do not stand together as one solid community across this nation, across this world.
It makes us weak.
We are weak and do better. Hold people accountable.
Fill the gap.
Yeah.
Fill the fucking gap.
So,
all right, if someone's getting shot at, fill the fucking gap.
Stop it.
You see someone getting taken down by the police, fill the gap.
And remember, this is about resisting. This is resisting oppression. Much love, guys. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon, and we will see you next week.